Welcome to International Securities Exchange's podcast series. Facilitated by renowned educators, ISE podcasts are intended to teach beginning as well as seasoned investors the ins and outs of trading. To find an updated list of podcasts, please visit www.ise.com/podcasts. Please be sure to listen to our important message following this episode regarding the risks of investing in exchange-traded options.
Welcome, everyone. This is Steve Meisinger, your host for the ISE webinar series. Today, I'm pleased to present John Jagerson. John is an expert in many sort of parts of the financial markets, but he really understands options, and he's the founder of learningmarkets.com, and that's www.learningmarkets.com. I'd urge you to go to his website. He has all kinds of material, stocks, options, Forex. There's a forum there, all kinds of things. There's plenty of stuff to learn. I would highly recommend it, but I'm really pleased that we have John with us today. John's going to talk about options, limited risk strategies for the currency market. So without further ado, John, welcome to the ISE.
Hey, thanks, Steve. I appreciate that. The sound coming through okay?
You sound perfectly clear, yep.
Okay, great. So, thank you for hosting me here, and I'm excited to see the crowd. I see some names I recognize from the Learning Markets website, and for those of you who have not been there, I'd certainly like to invite you. It's no fee, no pay, no registration required, nothing really required to participate at Learning Markets. It's a lot of education. We're really passionate, actually, about investor education in general, and that includes education about how to invest across asset classes. So that means knowing how and how the currency market works and how to take advantage of it, as much as it is to how to operate with regular equity option spreads or outright positions in bonds and even commodities and such. So we're very passionate about that and really believe that it can help individual investors do a lot better and be much more informed. So feel free to visit us there. As I jump into my presentation, so the title is Limited Risk Strategies for the Currency Market. And I'm making a couple of assumptions here. The first assumption that I'm making is that most of the people here on the webinar are reasonably literate in how options work. So you understand what a call and a put is, what strike prices are, what expiration dates are, and that sort of thing. The second assumption that I'm making is that you have a kind of at least a passing familiarity with how the currency market works. So how currencies are traded in pairs, one currency versus another. And today we're always going to be talking about the dollar, U.S. dollar versus something else. So whether that's the euro or the Australian dollar or the Japanese yen. Now, for those of you, and I get feedback like this on anytime I do a presentation like this, for those of you who don't feel like you're really literate in either of those two subjects, that's one of the reasons why I mentioned learningmarkets.com, because you can go there. We have plenty of free courses, tons of videos on both subjects, so you can get to the point where you feel like it's something you could start trading yourself. Now, a couple of things that I've been doing webinars and such for years, and I really enjoy them. I like to give them. I'd like to attend them. I've always find them interesting. Just about everybody's got a little nugget of something that I haven't thought about before, or I haven't thought about it in that way before. But I have to confess, I have an allergic reaction to PowerPoint presentations. So you'll forgive me if I want to spend our time in the live market. I feel like it just makes it a little bit more relevant. And today was a great day in the market, so it's interesting. And I don't mean just equities. The reassurance that from the Fed today was interesting in its effect on the Forex, and it's not just the Fed, of course. We had some interesting news coming out from the Bank of Japan over the last couple of trading sessions that has really shifted a trend there that I think is a really interesting one that I'd like to take a look at as we talk about strategies, limited risk strategies in the currency market. Now, I'm always a little bit reluctant to use the phrase like limited risk strategies because, I mean, if you want to limit your risk, it's pretty simple. I mean, if you buy an outright call or put, you're limited to the amount you've invested in that call or put. And that's a fairly straightforward idea, and we're going to be more or less building on that idea, but I'd like to actually expand the definition a little bit from not just limited risk, but maybe limiting risk. So, and the reason why I say this, and then I'm going to jump in and start looking at a few charts. The reason why I say this is I have kind of an advantage, I think, over a lot of retail investors, just in the information that I have access to. So we do a lot of work for Forex dealers, for example, and options brokers and people like this. And so we get to see their inside numbers. And they all love active traders. So active options traders, active currency traders, they're great. They have one flaw, however. They have a tendency to have kind of a gambling attitude. So they'll jump in and out of positions very quickly. They may take on a little bit too much risk. They don't always appreciate the position that they're in. And so that's one of the reasons why I'm so passionate about FX options, because whether you're a currency trader trying to look at options as a way to limit your risk, or whether you're an options trader trying to look at currencies as a way to diversify your market exposure through asset class diversification, it really does a good job at limiting risk from both perspectives. So I'm going to share my desktop at this point.
Thank you for listening to our podcast. To find more podcasts on options, stocks, alternative markets, and market data, please visit www.ise.com/podcasts.